Hi everyone, Dastari here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Sixth Doctor story, The Two Doctors. Now this story features the return of Patrick Troughton in the role of the Second Doctor, and also features the return of Jamie, not Jamie, no, the role of Jamie, and played by Fraser Hines. So, yeah, it's interesting for that. And basically the setup is, there's a space station that are doing tests and whatnot on time travel. The Second Doctor gets sent there to stop it, and Sontaran's attack, and they end up. And what they really want is to find a symbiotic nuclei inside the Doctor that will help them travel through time, basically. So that's the general setup. So first off, we'll talk about Patrick Troughton in the role. I think he is great in this. He is my favourite Doctor, and there's really no difference in his character from when he left. And he has been brought back 2 times before in the 3 Doctors and the 5 Doctors. So he's in every multi-Doctor story except the classic series, let's say, because there's time crash as well and whatnot. But yeah, he's the only one who's been in all 3 of them. So yeah, that's quite interesting. And which is good because I mean he's missing a lot of his episodes, so at least he got brought back a couple of times, and in colour as well, which I guess is a plus. Jamie, I think, given that he has not been in the role for more than 10 years, unless you count that little bit in the 5 Doctors, he is a bit off. His accent does seem a bit strange at times, but you know, it's forgivable if he's been out of the role for that long. So yeah, I'll say that. And so yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say on that. There is kind of like the continuity issue and whatnot with the fact that Jamie shouldn't know about the Time Lords, and the Doctor shouldn't really meet the Time Lords until the end of the War Games. There is that whole Season 6B story, kind of like, because the Doctor never explicitly regenerated at the end of the War Games, he kind of like got to do loads of other stuff with the Time Lords, got allowed to have Jamie back as a companion and whatnot, and did missions like this, and it also links in with the 5 Doctors thing as well. So yeah, well for the 5, I have a different theory, and while for the 5 Doctors it doesn't work, I think it kind of works this story. And my theory is that basically the Time Lords pick the Doctor up during basically the Time Lords to the 6th Doctor, so kind of like after all that stuff happened, kind of like tried to find the Doctor in his time stream, found the 2nd Doctor at that point. So this is the point where they're not hunting for a Mercury left, because it's different time streams and whatnot, and basically this is why he shoved in Victoria and Jamie, and basically they helped him to do all this stuff and whatnot. And then after that they erased his memory. There are loads and loads of different theories, but that's my personal theory as to how it went. That's a bit vague, but yeah, I guess that'll be up with this type of stuff. So yeah, I think I'll just leave that bit of that. Now, this story was heavily criticised for its cannibalistic overtones with the Androgums and whatnot, mainly Shokai. And yeah, there is definitely a problem there with that. There is quite a bit of blood in this as well, which is quite unsettling and whatnot. It is quite a violent story, really, as a whole, quite gruesome at times and everything. And I think it's a problem that occurs throughout the 6th Doctor's era, really, and here is probably maybe at its worst. You've got Attack of the Siphon as well. It's between them two as being at its worst. But yes, that's that. And there's not much else I can say on that part. I wish I could see why it was there. I know Robert Holmes was a vegetarian and wanted to get that message across, but I think it was done too much, really. And also you got the needless death of the woman who owned the house, the old woman. I think absorbing her mind was bad enough and whatnot, you could forgive that. But then then it's mentioned later that Shokai ate her. It's just not too nice. And then the needless death of Oscar, who was quite a likable character. He was got killed off needlessly, so yeah, that's quite bad. The Sontarans in this. You can complain about them being too tall, their neck piece is not working and everything, and other stuff. I think that stuff's the voice is good, the actors were good. You know, if they were a bit short, that would have been good, but I think that stuff can just about be forgiven. The main problem in this is, why were they in this story, to be honest? They have no real place in this story. The main enemies are the Androgums, Chesney and whatnot. And they're there to attack the space station, but after that they've got no real place in the story. And then they get betrayed by the Androgums. And Steyer kind of like just goes off on a subplot, which doesn't go full circle, he just dies on that subplot, doesn't meet up with anyone else. And then Shokai just walks in with his leg, which was another grim scene. So yeah, it's just, that bit doesn't work for me too well. So yeah, I'll leave that one. I'll leave that at that, I think. So yeah, another thing, so yeah, other than their place in the first story in attacking the space station, they don't really have, there's not really much point in them in this story. So yeah, and the interaction with the second and the sixth Doctor, there's not much I can honestly say about, because there's not much of it to speak of. Because I mean, it's not till the start of the final part that they meet up. And then they spend the majority of the middle part of the third part split up until they finally meet up again at the end. And then after this rather brief scene and then leave. And it's just, there's not enough made of it, I think. You don't really get a sense of their relationship. You get the bickering in places, but that's all really. So I think that could have been handled a bit better. So, and then the pacing of the story is good. There's no real times where you think, oh come on, get on with it. So there's not much padding really. Obviously the Sontaran that I mentioned, but that's not really padding, that's just there, I guess. In every story it's there, the padding, but overall there's not much time to, unlike oh, this is obviously padding, let's get on to the actual story. So yeah, I think music in this, considering that it's the 80s, is very good. I think it's got a very 80s feel to it, but it's still great. Seeing that there's a lot of stuff about the Doctor Who music in the 80s being quite bad and whatnot. But overall, I think the music in this is very good and very enjoyable. So, yeah, I'll say that about it. What else is there to say? The death of Shokai, slightly problematic, I think. Not that the Doctor used cyanide to kill him, because the Doctor used cyanide before in the brain of Morbius to kill Solon. And I think that's something that's often overlooked when compared to this, but I think it's more the way he did it that he just kind of like brutally attacked him to do it rather than just letting it go naturally, really. That sets that apart from that. But overall, I mean, it's not that bad. I think, again, it's a problem that occurs during most of the Sixth Doctor's era. So, yeah, that's that. And, yeah, I think I've said all I've got to say. Overall, it is enjoyable. I will say that. It's got quite a few good elements. The space station is very well done in part 1. Would have been nice to get a bit more of that reveal of the Sontarans as well, which is quite bad, to be honest. So I mean, they kind of like make this big thing of hiding them as the enemies and whatnot, and then they're made up to be a big thing, and then it's just nothing, and then they just appear. And yeah, it's just Sontaran's place in the story. It seems odd to me. I think they could have been better handled, script-wise. But yeah, anyway, yeah, as I was saying, it's an enjoyable story, and well, it's probably not the best. It's probably the worst multi-doctor story of the classic series. And that doesn't mean it's bad at all, because there are only 3 of them, and 3 doctors is great, and so is the 5 doctors. So overall, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10, because it is an enjoyable story despite its flaws. So yeah, I think that's all I've got to say on this one. And thank you everybody for watching. Next week will probably be a review of Frontier in Space. So yeah, thanks for watching everyone, and see you next Saturday. Bye everyone.